Hey, lovely beings! Forever awesome!
Forever awesome
In the house.
in the house.
Yeah, that's really in the house. Ja, Janneke Hellebrekers, aka Miss Hellbreker. Oh, here says Miss Hellbreker. And
Hydro Hellbreaker.
yeah, so we moeten even Miss in the house. So now it's good.
There you go.
Yay!
At the bottom left-hand corner. Might be your right, but it's on our left.
So my name is Janneke Hellebrekers, aka Miss Hellbreker. And that's my real surname, Hellbreaker. So, and that's exactly what we're doing, breaking free from hell,
At least we're attempting to.
or yeah, whatever this construct
Trying to
is
find a way to
of
break
this
up out of here.
reality. We want to be as free as possible, and that we can make this reality as free as possible, and then we will help others with that as well. And that's why whatever we share is about that, is about spreading seeds of consciousness, about health, about lifestyle, about like we share also books. We have already 9 books together,
Nice
and
books.
yeah, yeah,
And what do you have? You have a published one.
yeah, whispers op de nieuwe uur.
Check it out. Check it out on
And with
Amazon.
my name. All the links are in here, all the links.
And you'll see the images.
Yeah, but we also share courses, not a book, and meditations. I share also meditations and courses, and also one-on-ones. So if you need like spiritual guidance, healings, I do energy healing
Energy healings,
and spiritual guidance, but also health
counseling,
information.
health information,
Yeah,
counseling.
coaching, health coaching, but also relationship coaching. And that's what we want to go into today. We also wrote a book about relationship tips before, during, and after, based on a really good video that we also made. So if you're interested in relationship, you can also watch that video again. But today we want to talk about the difference between conscious and an unconscious relationship, and like what is it 3D, we also call it like 3D or 5D relationships. What is the difference between that? So it's when you have like two conscious beings. Because like there's quite some people struggling that are like, yeah, but my partner's not conscious. How I deal with that? Or what is the difference between conscious and unconscious relationship? And how, yeah, we just want to share some things that people can like maybe are struggling with, or like thinking what is the difference. And for me it's like I'm really glad that we are like in a conscious relationship, that we both are conscious beings, awake beings. So because otherwise it would be quite difficult for us to navigate in this reality, like seeing what we see and know what we know, and not be able to express that fully. I think like a lot of people struggling with that, because they say like I see certain things and my partner sees that. But I feel like if that is the case, but a lot of times you have already like a history with the person, you love that person, and I think then it's the thing that you need to share, like being there for each other, like unconditional, with unconditional love, because it's still, there's still the core being of that person is still that love. You have love for that person. So I also understand people like that are struggling, but yeah, if it's really not, if it's like soul crushing, and you feel like you are changing, you are growing, you are evolving, and the other person doesn't grow with you, I also understand it's not easy for certain people.
No, and I have seen this many times, especially coming into my awakening. Thankfully, I was single coming into to this awakening, where I didn't have to deal with that kind of a complication. You know what I'm saying? And I got to see everybody else that was waking up. Some people that were in a relationship, couples that I've seen, a few couples, maybe one or two. I'm not going to say who or what, but what they've done is like they've sort of grown apart and began living almost like they're not really together. And some try to stay together, but then there's a lot of fighting going back and forth. And it's a big mess. And then some like want to grow and end up like slowing their growth and their awakening process down and dropping back down to the frequency of the person that can't rise or doesn't want to wake up. and kind of sticks with them. So you have those that stick with the one that don't want to grow and just go back to where it is, so they could just be happy that way. Or some that grow apart and the marriage or relationship, whatever it is, it doesn't really neither doesn't last or it doesn't work well from what I've seen.
And also, people need to know, like, you have a lot of times a relationship is a mirror of you, a reflection of you. So a lot of times it's also a reflection of where you are at that moment. And when it's like you have to, like, you learn from that person for a certain amount of time, and sometimes that learning is done, and then you can like have like growing after relationship. You grow and you heal, and then you have a different person.
So I mean,
Yes,
when you're in one,
yeah.
you're learning from one, but then when you finish with that, when you come out of one,
Hmm.
it kind of if you learn from it, if you apply that learning, it
Yeah.
kind of changes you for the better to prepare you for the next one you're about to get into.
Yeah. So you grow and you learn and you are like you're like more healed version of yourself, and then you attract that also.
Yes.
So also know that it's always a reflection, always. But a lot of times when you are like single and you meet people, it's always like, is this a reflection of my old consciousness or a reflection of my new consciousness? Will this person grow with me? Is this person wants to grow with me? Is this person on the same path? And you have that choice coming by as well. And for me, it's like when I was like with people that were like seeing only parts of me, only like, oh, the fun part and the happy the outside looking good, and the smile and that, and then the depth was no, there was no part of like this, like that was not fully accepted, those parts of me, like the deeper parts, or like you wanted to share about certain things, and a lot of times that was not met.
You know what I think? Could I step in? I want to say because like you said before, some people like the party version, but then like when you're serious and you're different, the real you starts coming out, or not the real you, but you, it's already the real you, but just more comes out that they're not used to or don't want to see. It all depends when you get together and you become in a relationship. It all depends on one of the people in that relationship, their intent. Because the intent, it calls it, it calls it out. It calls everything out. When you're in this long relationship, once you form a long one, you see what the intent is. And then I know a lot of us, when we see what the intent is and then we feel it's not going the way it should go, a lot of us feel we could change it or change the person in the relationship. But then that's not the case. And you realize either you could stick with it, you should, or you shouldn't, or you don't. Sometimes you don't know, but oftentimes you don't. And then later on is when you get these lessons, you learn, you know what? I don't like what I went through, but I'm glad I went through it because I learned this. I learned how to handle this, deal with that. Not to say that when I get in the next relationship, similar situations could occur, and they do. And this is what I see as like either reflection, actually, or projection. Maybe reflection. You might projecting because you'll get into something where like it'll be similar, but the person doesn't have the intent to bring back that emotion memory to you, and you'll be feeling something that you dealt with in the past that's reminding you of this person you're with now. You don't want to deal with it, and it kind of upsets you, and then you get an argument. But then rather than just like letting it mess you up, if the relationship you want to save it or keep it or just make it happen, you kind of like talk it out, and you let the other partner know where you come from and why you felt like this and why you reacted the way you did. And then they'll let you know that like either their intent was to do that to you, to harm you, or not to harm you. And they explained it not to harm you, and you're like, okay, then I was kind of like projecting something I dealt with something in the past.
And that's what you have with conscious relationships. You take responsible of your own like trauma, projections, things happening, and like what you brought from previous relations. And but you still have triggers, you still have things coming up for you to heal, but then you can talk about it with each other. And then you know that you have like you take responsible for your own actions and for your own triggers. And that is something that you like an unconscious relationship. A lot of people are not aware of it and project it on the other. Like the other person makes me feel like this. I'm angry because of
Yes.
this person. That person did this. But when you have a conscious relationship, you can say like, hey, this action of you made me feel a certain way because so and so. And then you can really hold space for each other and understand where the other person is coming from. And you can see the patterns of relationship. You can really like break the patterns, break the generational curses or karma for like from your previous relationships, but also your parents' relationship, like certain patterns that you see happening. And when you're conscious, you can really talk about that and come together. And I feel also when we have like a trigger and we come out, it's not like next time we have the same trigger again, because we talk about it and we say like, how can we deal with it differently next time? What can you say differently? What can I say differently? How can we organize things better so we don't have the same trigger? So you keep on growing with each other, and a lot of times different things come up.
They do. I want to say sometimes you might, or you will come across a same or similar trigger, and you'll recognize it. But although you may recognize it, sometimes even in the heat of the moment, you might not be able to say it differently because you are like in that space where like the logic just goes right out the window.
Yeah, when you're triggered and your
Yeah,
emotion.
and I also want to say like when you're in the 3D relationship, you're right. Like it's always blaming of the other person. Well, you did this to me. Well, you did that. You did this.
Mhm.
And you get in that 5D one, and you're going to call it a 5D relationship. You can see what the other person did, but you also see what you did and how you react. You always see both angles of it. You never just see the other person's angle. Have enough respect and be logical enough to understand that like it takes two to tango. So you do see the two differences and you try working it out. And you realize sometimes, wow, maybe it's just a miscommunication that happened. A lot of times it is miscommunication, you know? And
We
when it's crazy that we have, yeah,
Yeah, and we also share more often. We already shared about that, but we have like lots of times, once a month, definitely once a
I
month,
wanted
like
to
a
mention that
certain
moon cycle, yeah.
communication.
That
Yeah,
moon cycle,
when we have like my cycle coming up or full moon cycle is coming up, then it's like, and it's not only with
everything goes out
us.
the window.
Yeah, yeah, but
I
not
want to
only
say
with
like,
us, but also I hear also the other people's relationship happening,
let me say
and
it to
that
you.
they had like a tiff or they had like a triggering, and then they're like, oh, the day after the moon cycle came,
Cycle, yeah,
like
moon
the
cycle.
period came, and I was like, oh, now I understand why that happened. It's like we almost like can clock it. You almost know better
Yeah,
when my period is coming.
yeah, we do know. But the thing is like I said, it takes two to tango. And it's crazy because
Yeah.
like, even though she might be the aggressive come at me, like there's something that says like, I'm ready for battle. You know what I mean? And like usually I'm like, wait, you okay? What's going on here? And I'm like, how come I can't control it? So it's more than that. This moon cycle is not just affecting females, it's everywhere. I feel like it's a frequency that they hit us with. And it's like a test to try to see if we can hold it together or not. If you're meant to be, you'll stay. If you're not, it'll split you apart. Also, what I do recognize is that like the 5D, you don't blame each other, but when it comes to that cycle, it's like you do kind of blame the next one. Like logic is not really fully there. And like
When you're triggered, you're in your emotions,
yeah,
and
you're
that
on
is what's
fire. You're
difficult.
on fire.
And everybody also has different like fighting styles or like defense mechanism. Like that comes
Defense
out
mechanism. It's crazy.
from your youth because you didn't know how to deal with things when you were younger. So it's like an automatic thing coming up. I go retreat in myself and get sad, and he gets like aggressive. What is it like aggressive defensiveness
I don't know
like
if it's anger, frustration, or just like destruction. But like you get all in your sad emotions. I'm like, how do we combine those two to make like the perfect being? Because you're all the ones I don't show, and I'm all the ones you don't show.
yeah, and we also think like maybe I'm feeling the things that he can't express and vice versa.
I think it's kind of like that.
Yeah, but it's also like it's like everybody has different styles. Like people have like they go inside themselves, like fight, flight, and freeze. You have like fight, and then freeze, and then flight, you go away. Like I
Yeah,
thought it
I'd rather just I
sounds,
like to just leave, just get out of the way. That's what I do. Like I'm like, okay, I can't take this right now. I'm going that way.
but you feel like, but it depends on also how much you are aware of it in that moment. So because if you're aware of it in the moment, you can snap out of it, and that's why you also really good to have like a word, like a safe word. Like I said, like time out before it gets bigger. Because sometimes someone else in that moment also gets defensive and like aggressive, and then it can like go up and up and up, and then it goes like crazy.
There is a safe word. I don't know if we have a safe word or a safe sentence. 'Cause we you say sometimes you'll say something. You're like, just relax or not relax. Just say like you'll say you already been saying a lot or doing a lot. You'll tell me to like just
Chillax
maybe
in the
take a nap
moment.
or something. Or I don't know. You say something. I'm like, you know what?
Chillax.
I'm like, you're right. Let me just go and be quiet for a moment. You're like, when you're done, we'll get back to talking. Maybe we'll eat something. We'll order some food or something.
Yeah, but
You
it
know?
depends also what you say. But sometimes if you say relax, then it can have like put even more
Feel
fire
yeah.
on the fire.
It depends on how you say it too. Because like, are you using it to like to irritate somebody?
Yeah.
Like you relax, or you just like, oh, please relax. You know what I mean? Like how it depends on how it's being said.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
it's
true.
really about the communication, and that's so important. And of course, we come from different countries. We have different English because I have like UK English, he is American English, and my English is like second language. So I say the things differently. And I was not even aware of it. I thought my English was really good until
I thought
recently.
you were, yeah. You're no, it's pretty good, but I thought like when we were talking that like you was trying to be funny because like you were using that English to the point where like if you use certain words at a certain time, it's like, are you trying to joke with me right now? You being serious? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on here? And I realized, hold on, that's first language. I'm like, no, she's not joking. I think she's serious.
Yeah. But sometimes he also says like, yeah, like you can't say this to
Yeah,
people.
certain things, even though there's basic
You
words, you can't
can't
say
say
it.
this to people.
Like we're like
I'm
leaving
very
that.
open always
There goes
about
some.
anything, but he's like sometimes just you can't say this.
I'm gonna give an example, and maybe you can't say this. Y'all, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. I need to know this. Please, I need to know this. We're in that Uber, right? That cab or whatever. And like they're very nice. We're having a good conversation, sharing stories. We're like, hey, we leave them a nice tip. And then we were getting out. She's like, goodbye, have a good night or a good day. She's like, have a nice life. I'm like, you can't really say that. Maybe you can,
It's
but
like I don't know if you see the people again.
have a nice life means like, yo, you can go somewhere. You know what I mean? Like when I'm from, when you say have a nice life, that means like, yo, you can go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Go somewhere.
yeah, well,
Where we
where it's very hot, like they show on television. But of course, I don't think that place is hot. I think it's actually very cold. But anyways. Yeah, like when you say like have a nice life, that's like it's like blowing somebody up.
like you hope that you never see them again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, see, you know what it is. You already know.
Yeah, because
And I'm like,
everybody taught me something.
yeah.
So
But you said it like in another way. I didn't explain it, so that's good too.
yeah, so yeah, that's why we also like to make
See,
videos
you
because
picked up on his English.
yeah, we both have such a different angle also and perspective on certain things. So that's why I also think it's good because we both share such a different perspective and such a from different angles. So that's why it makes it also easier for people to understand like what are they actually saying. But for us, we know each other now so such a long time, is that we know our intent is good for each other. And that is one of the biggest things you need to have in a relationship. Trust that the other person has your back, trust that the other person means well for you. And that is something you need to build. But it's easier if you in the beginning already come from that place that you know the other person comes from that. But I think it's really difficult, especially in beginning of relationship. Like it's really important to build that trust because we're in this society where we are male and women really completely distrust each other. We're grown up where it's almost like we're grown up to completely distrust each other.
Yeah, well, I want to add, you're right about that. I feel it's that distrust also like to take from one another. Like when I was growing up, the men are like, yeah, they were racking up, you rack up how many like you females you can give. Like I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take that, it's time to take this. And then like the females are like, yeah, they be talking. Like if you
Luckily,
be
you changed that.
I'll just go ahead and say this, I can edit some of that. But then like,
You don't have
the
to.
females are almost the same way, you know what I mean? Like they'll talk about their man and like they'll have a conversation about their man and who's this and who's that, and then you'll have some from people trying to chase after their men and all this other stuff. It's a big mess. I mean, like,
Yeah, and nowadays it's also like, oh yeah, if it doesn't work out, I'll just scroll on to the next. Without like, oh, going to the next relationship, or you find the next person on your dating app. It's also like
people
it takes,
chasing dopamine, I think.
yeah, but it
Sometimes it's
also
chasing
takes
dopamine.
takes courage to go be vulnerable, to open up and to go deeper. And I also understand it's not easy for certain people, especially when they were hurt in the past. Because a lot of people, like, is especially in the beginning of a relationship, there's a lot of fear coming up. And is this gonna be again the same as the previous person? Is this person gonna hurt me again? Or is this person gonna go away? And a lot of people don't even dare to open up to relationship because they had such hurt in the past. But know that there's always a new person. You are not only the other person that you meet is different, but you are different. So you can really be more conscious of your patterns, of your style, like the defense style, and of like that's why it's like a lot of times patterns like chasing. One person chases and the other one wants to flee. And it's also things because of like so you don't have to go into depth because there's a lot of fear happening in the beginning of relationships. Like people that like avoidant, like afraid of a relationship, and then the more the other one avoids, the other one person runs through it. But it's because you are still those old patterns. You're still running around with old patterns. When we met, we were both like willing to go fully into it.
Well, not only that, like before we even got together, like you've done the inner work, you've worked on yourself, and I've been working on myself. Single for almost like 7 years, about six, going on seven. Before we got
Mhm.
together, and I did a lot of inner work. I worked on myself. You know, I try to become the greater version of myself. And yeah, I turned on a lot of relationships. Like I did a couple dates here and there, but then I'm like, no, I'm not doing this because like it was just repetitive. The next one seemed like the same as the next one. It seemed like the same as the next one. Even the patterns of how long I would be, dating it was the same. And it was everything step by step. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. It's almost like scripted. I'm like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. I'm gonna work on myself and just like see what, if something happened down the line when I'm like a better version of myself, then something happens. And that's when we met.
Yeah, that's why it's also it's different because the more you are conscious and the more depth you have, the more like almost when you're talking with people, you feel like you can't talk about like a lot of aspects of yourself. And that's why we can talk about anything openly about any like theme also with other people. Like we're like very much ourselves. And that is also something that like a lot of times indeed like unconscious relations, it's like you only meet certain parts of yourself and you don't meet every part. But it's also because you didn't even find that in yourself yet. You're still looking for that, and then there's like masks involved, so you're not fully truly yourself because you are not yourself yet fully. And that is also about like knowing yourself. That's why it's so important to know yourself, all your aspects of yourself. And some people are not even aware of their whole being, of who they are actually are. And that's why it's also so good if you like later in life, when you already did a lot of inner work and when you did understanding yourself better, then you find also like you're more yourself. You're much more yourself. And then you find also someone who really likes you for you, who you actually are.
I do want to say that's facts. And when you work on yourself, first you know who you are, know yourself. And then once you're in that 5D mind frame, when you do find a person, you'll know right off the bat if it's the right one or not, or at least close to the right one or not. Because we're not telling you to just open up and be vulnerable to anybody. Your judgment should be like a little bit more precise at this time when you advanced, when you became more a greater version. And then when you get with someone, you can see like the intent instantly. And then if you think it's gonna work out, then you can you can do baby steps. You can put up some healthy boundaries, but you can like start breaking down who you are because you at one point you want to be yourself. you want to be hiding stuff all the time because if you're dishonest at the beginning, you're dishonest all the way to the end, and it's not a true relationship.
And that's what is also important with conscious relationship. Like you're completely yourself from the beginning. So it's not that you suddenly are different. Like a lot of relationship, they have like completely high in love in the beginning, and then after that's not anymore, and then they're still looking for how it was in the beginning. And for us, it was always the same from the beginning because we were completely ourselves.
That is correct.
And yeah, so that's why it's like um, really important to be yourself. But the difference between conscious and unconscious is conscious is you are aware of yourself, but also aware of what's happening in the world. You understand
Mm,
more of what's happening in the
I
world,
want
and
to ask
that
you
is
about that too.
also we have like then you have a similar mission. Like we have like I was on a mission already, like I was doing already coaching and healing and sharing consciousness, and then we can do that together. So we have like a shared mission, and that's also really beautiful if you have like two conscious people on the same path. Like I see people doing
It's the best.
medicine ceremonies together. I do see people giving mantra singing together. I do people like or like healing circles and like really conscious beings sharing things together. And that's why I really love that we have that together as well. Well, we both love sharing our wisdom, sharing our knowledge, sharing that with others, sharing like inspiring others, empowering others, and that is something that we both really have in common as well. What we really like doing. And that is really beautiful. You can be on the same purpose together.
I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say it like that's the ultimate relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're on the same path, same mission, and similar goals and all this, I mean, that's the best. Because from what I've seen, what I experienced is that if it doesn't line up, it usually doesn't go that well. Because every relationship has a point where like somebody changes a little bit, and like it's not saying you lose interest, but you get to a point where like, especially what's happening today in a spiritual awakening, you might become too detached from reality to a point where like you don't like reality. Was for some people, and you might just be like, I'm detaching from all. And this can kind of like be felt from your partner in a relationship because you might be too detached, but then it's always good to try to pull it back in and collect back with your partner because you want to keep that nice relationship going and don't let anything outside of you distract you from it. Because together, when you find the right one, you're the most powerful team in the world. And there's nothing better than a true, spiritual, like powerful union.
Yeah, it's
You know what I'm
beautiful.
saying?
It's like that's why they call it also divine union, and and that's what you're ultimately looking for. But you know it when you find it. You know it. You know you just people saying you actually know
Yeah, when you know, you know.
which you know you know.
It's not like there's no question either. You're
Like
not
that
like
saying you don't know.
you're not like in a 3D relationship. People like, is this the right one? I don't know if it's the right one. You
And
might
then
be
you
asking,
think it will grow, and then you think the other person will
and
change.
you're gonna change them or this or that. And no,
Oh
it's
no,
it's already done at the door.
you
It's
are
already done.
it will grow, like they will be more open or they will change, like it will not happen. And that is something that like because a lot of times like there's like red flags and then people's like not seeing the red flags.
Or you ignore them because you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
see them and be like, you know what, maybe I'll just like
Oh, it will get
not. It'll
better.
get, yeah, yeah. You
It
know
will
what I
get
mean?
better,
It'll get
and
better. It's gonna get
yeah,
better.
yeah, they grow and they will change. They will change. You're like, oh, they will be more open at one point, and then you're still after like many times you're still waiting for
And
that.
then the relationship's not even that hopping anymore like it was at the beginning. And then you still got the right flag. So it's like, I'm out of
But
here.
this
Already
also
over here.
has to do with a lot of times when people had like traumatic past, it's like the red flags are like this is how love felt in the past. So it's an attraction as well, the red flags. And that's why people also have to be very aware of because it can be an attraction. The love hate and
Mm.
the love hate and the almost like toxic relationships can be certain people Like they go after that because they're not used, they don't know that subconsciously they had also that in their youth. They saw that from their parents. They saw also how the
parents, yeah.
love was given to the parents. Huh? Like
They
that,
chase it. They chase
that,
it, yeah.
yeah, they chase it. So someone that is avoiding sometimes the love and then someone chasing it, that was a lot of times like patterns also from your youth. So that's why it's also so good to be aware of those patterns, to heal from those patterns, to break those cycles as well. Because that's really happening a lot of times in relationships. And also people are stuck in relationships because they don't know what to do. And they were like, oh yeah, this is yeah the best I can have. Or like they're so addicted to it. Like they're like so afraid to be alone that they rather stay in an unhealthy relationship. And that is also like very difficult to break that pattern as well. And I totally understand that. And it's like that's why we also do relationship coaching of people, because a lot of people are struggling with certain things and they don't even know how to deal with it. Because I really think like if you can work through it, if you can communicate, you can let people know what you need and want. Because don't ever expect the other person to be a psychic to understand what your needs and wants are. So you really need to communicate that as well. And like you also said, boundaries as well. Like sometimes what the other person doesn't even is aware of, it can really irritate the other person. Like you said, like certain things. It's like, hey, I don't like you, or you're speaking about this to other people, and you will feel it. You will feel it. Like what kind of boundaries each other have. But you have boundaries, but you really need to explicitly say that to each other because otherwise you will not know.
No. And here's the thing. When I was in my 3D relationship, when things came up with red flags, I would be like too nervous to even say something because I had a fear that it would mess up and break up the relationship. So and that's the worst kind because then when you do bring it up, and you haven't, you'll be asked like, how come you haven't brought it up before, or what do you accuse me of, or this and that. And then it usually goes south anyways. Usually doesn't work out. But now, as you know, if I have any concerns or questions, I just let it. I just say what I gotta say. I don't know what's gonna happen, but like I gotta be real about it. And you're real about it. If you ask a question, you have to be real about it. You need to answer. Like I'm like, yo, I'll ask anything. I'll talk about anything. I'm not afraid to talk about what I need to speak about, as long as I speak it and don't hold it in and be thinking about it. Because like if you let your mind roam, your mind's
Then
very
you spiral.
well, your mind's very creative. It might make up these scenarios that don't even like or something you may have experienced that could be another type of projecting again. You don't have to say it out to project. You can just be thinking things that could be projected, and you can bring it to a relationship and be thinking some things and not even saying anything. So I don't even now. I just like the relationship. I feel so comfortable. I just ask the questions if I need to ask questions. If I'm concerned about anything, or if I'm feeling something, or if I'm not doing well, I'll talk about all my issues, no matter what it is.
And that's so, it's so good if you can just be completely, you feel it when you can just be completely yourself with someone. And that is also what you like, the version of you with that person. That's you also see like, how do you feel when you are with that person? What kind of person are you? What brings that other person out of you? And that's what I like also in this relationship. I feel more me than I ever was.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have to put on the mask. Some you have to
No.
put a mask on. You have to be somebody different. But just
But also you encourage each other. So you're also like my biggest supporter in this. So and that helps me in my
same, vice versa.
in my self-confidence.
Same here too. Like a lot of things I would have never done. Like for example, this we're doing right now. Face on camera, right? Making a video. I would have never done this in a million years.
Proud of you.
Thank you. And that's you gave me the power to do it. You helped me with that.
Yeah, and it's really about like planting seeds and helping others with that because like a lot of people are struggling with relationships and even in it doesn't matter conscious or unconscious, you can really struggle in relationship and I hope that you at least like have some ideas or some like nuggets in these talks that you can have, like, how can I deal with it differently? How can I learn from it? What do I want next in a relationship? And if you want to see more, you can also watch that other video that we made about relationship tips before, during, and after. And we even created also an ebook from that video, the relationships tips before, during, and after ebook. And because we know how much inner work it takes for a relationship, and that's why we also want to share that with people, so you can do that too. So you can like give that a chance, and especially like it's really worth it, the conscious relationship. And I also understand it's not easy to find that. We found we
Yes.
found each other on a mountain in Portugal. But we talked about that already. Like, we found each other in a cult, a conscious cult of conscious people. Like, we thought was like a community, but it turned into a cult. But it all was necessary for us to find each other. But there are different ways. I have a friend who even started 5ddating.com. So you can find other conscious people that are also looking for relationship. But I also want to say, beware of the conscious community as well, because know really good what you want. Like, because there's also a lot of
I want to say be aware also. I'm gonna step in.
yeah.
I'm gonna say like also be aware of I don't know how else to say this, but like of the rapidly reproducing people. What I mean by that is like if you get with somebody and you know they're rapidly reproducing, you have to be either okay with it. Some might call it cheating or some might not. But you have to either be okay with it at the door or not. If you're not okay with it, pull yourself out the relationship. But if you know this person has a reputation for doing what they do because they just reproduce for the system, all they do is reproduce, reproduce. They usually cannot hit a 5D mindset and they usually haven't done inner work. This is usually written program in a person that makes them do what they do. And I think it's to reproduce more batteries for children for the system to feed off of.
But that's the same beware that I wanted to share about. But then in the conscious community, people like being very much like polygamy and wanted several partners just because they want to spread the love. And a lot of times it comes across like in the beginning, genuinely like, hey, this and this, but later on, it's still also about sex.
Yeah, about nation building, yeah.
Yeah, and
And the thing is, like,
so even you have that, what you said, you have that in the conscious and in the unconscious community, people that still have that mindset only. And that's also, I always want to say, like, beware of that.
So if you want that, you go for that. But just if you don't,
if that's your choice,
your choice, do what you gotta
and
do.
you want an open relationship and you want to keep growing with that and having different connection, that it's all good. If you want that on both sides, it's all good, of course.
Do what needs to be done.
But know that up front if you want to go for that or not, if that's your choice or not.
Yeah, don't be forced into it. Like they were at this cult. Some people were forced into it.
Yeah, and I myself also had that in a relationship. Yeah, I fell for someone and said that they wanted that, and I was like, I was completely in love with that person, and I wanted to give them that opportunity. But then it was like all the things that they said were out the window as soon as they found someone else that they wanted to go after it. So it was like it didn't add up.
A rapid reproducer, I call it, rapid reproducing person.
Yeah.
They have love for you, but they don't have deep love for you. Like they're like, oh yes, they can, yes, they can. No, they can't. They cannot. Because you have to hit this 5D level to get to a certain. You can still be like that, rapid reproducer, but if you worked on yourself and hit this 5D level, you have a balance. You have a way to control yourself, and you have a way to just honor and respect.
Yeah, and that's why it's also important to share in the beginning already. Like, what do you really want?
Yeah, but if you want it, you go for it. If you don't want it, let people know. No, people know up front.
Yeah,
what you want.
And that's also good what you said about intention. Like, really let people know what is it what you want from this relationship. Do you? It's like if someone is not ready for a real relationship yet, you can say you just have fun in that moment. But like if you really want that, like share that and go for like really share that. What do you want in a relationship and what are your boundaries and your wants and your needs? And that is really so important to not to talk about that as well. So go into really deep things already, like ask the question.
Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't put them off. Don't think that you asking a question is going to throw off a relationship. If it does, it's not meant to be.
Yeah,
And
also.
just keep it flowing.
Yes. And the
Check out the book,
video
Relationship
also,
Tips.
the video is called Relationship Tips in the book also. And that is really about like before, during, and after. And I think a lot of people will learn a lot from it. And I think you might also already learned a lot in this video. We always try to give as many different perspectives. And we already give different perspectives.
From each other, yeah.
Yeah, because we were like both don't come from a different place. And then we also learned a lot because we had like so many relationships that didn't go right. That's why we want
And now I know why.
to
Now,
help people.
when you get to this level, you understand why.
It was all
Actually, you
necessary.
understand why it happens. It's all necessary and it's supposed to happen to build you who you are today.
Yes.
You know, and you don't know. You could have been dating an NPC. And I hate to say NPCs, but sometimes when you lock in with an NPC, it really and you're elevating. It's not going to work. You'll have it for a period of time, but you can't stay with an NPC. You're not supposed to. It's not written in the program that way. You're outside of the program. Once you're 5D, you're awakening. If you're woken, you're outside of the program. NPCs, they always stay within that program. They cannot leave it.
And that's why I also share about the 5ddating.com from my friend, because there you can really find people on there as well. I think she had people from all different countries. Not, but she's not Dutch, so there's a lot of Dutch people, but I think she has people from different countries as well. And that's why, because you want to find that, and you want that depth in your relationship, and you want it growing together and supporting. And we are like we do a lot of research, and then we're like watching things on our phones, and we're like exchanging that with each other, and like, oh, what I found now, like it's a constant growing, it's constant learning about like, what is this reality? Like, this doesn't make sense. Like this. So that's why you need someone else to help you make sense of this reality.
And I have my answers. Like some people watch something, I hear like her watching something about like relationship couples and seeing some things, and like I'll throw my pointers like everything I see going wrong that could that could go right, but it's why it's not going right. It's and like a lot of things that we think are complicated is very simple. At least from the outside looking in, it's simple. But sometimes I guess when you're in it, maybe it's not so simple. But when you see it from the outside, you're like, it's right there.
Yeah, but that's why I really like watching also like dating shows and all the very typical 3D television shows, like the 90 Days and the Married at First Sight.
It's all an experiment.
And Love is Blind. Yeah, they even say it's experiment.
It really is an experiment. It's a giant experiment.
Yeah, but I love seeing how people from like their defense mechanisms and how they communicate, and you just see it going wrong, and you see how if they could bring it into depth, into vulnerability, into more openness, they could really make it happen. But because people a lot of times are behind like masks, and that's why I like also the Love is Blind one, because people can't see each other and you can't touch each other, so you have to go into depth in talks. So that's one I really like. And then later on, they come together and you see, yep, immediately the walls go up and you see where it goes wrong. And I learned from that. I learned from that, and I keep learning. And that's why I also want to be there for other people, because I know it's not easy. But for me, it's like, become your like better version of yourself first. If you're single, instead of like having a really long list of what you want, become that.
Yeah, become your greatest version. Become like what you're looking for. You have to become it,
and become happy with yourself,
happy with yourself.
Who you are as a being, and then you radiate that out, and then you will find someone. And I think that is really important. Like, find yourself first. Find yourself. And then you will find that person.
You just said it, find yourself. It all starts with self. Like, how you gonna look for something external when you ain't got yourself all like, taken care of yet? It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It's like trying to fill somebody else's cup with an empty cup in your hand.
Yeah. So yeah, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments, and maybe we make another video about your question. And but know that we're here, and you can also yeah, you can also we have like what we are also available for one-on-ones, and know that yeah, it's an amazing journey. It's the most mirroring journey. Like that's why like I like be open. Know that you can find anywhere, anybody, any moment.
It's never
Because
too late.
it's your consciousness. You're like a battery. You're like a being that's emanating, and you will attract other beings that emanate on the same frequency. It doesn't matter where you are. But when you start, like what I said, like a lot of times I do a dating profile, at least you're like, you feel like you're open to it. And then that can shift because you emanate that out. Like, hey, saying that, like, I'm open to it. I'm open to finding a person, and then know that it will come. The universe will bring that to you in the right divine time. Because a lot of people say like, oh, when I was not looking for it, and you shouldn't be longing for it. No, you can be longing for it, because you can feel like, hey, I work better in a relationship, because it's really nice to have a person with you and do things together, and have a person for you as a support. And I really feel like when you have this mission together, you go even higher together.
You
So
do.
it's really worth it.
But keep in mind there's sacrifices on both ends. There's some things that you might have done, like you have to adjust, respectfully adjust to your partner.
Oh yeah, it's also about compromising.
Compromise.
Like what works for this reality, and what works for the other person, what this person needs, and what you can bring. It's really about like finding the balance in it. And yeah, that is really also part of it. But really, it's like it's worth it. It's all worth it. For me, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. Having this nice being with me every day and doing the things together, like I
Yeah.
know that I don't have to feel alone.
Of course not.
Yeah, and we are there for
Is
each
that right
other.
here?
It's such a good team, and
Team awesome. Forever awesome.
and that's our symbol on the back. It's forever awesome. We have that also on our merch. We have a merch shop.
Yeah, check out our merch
Forever
shop.
awesome, and
Check
we
out
have
the gear.
amazing.
We got some really cool gear. You need to check it out.
Amazing gear. So you can even walk around with like cool t-shirts with all sorts of things on
We got
there.
hoodies. We got hats.
Yeah, with
We got coffee mugs and stickers.
yeah, we have everything with
Fridge magnets.
yeah. So the Forever Awesome we have, but we also have other really cool
We have a lot of-
designs where you can really share things. And I love that you can have like, what is it, like a team or like purpose, like you can really let people think about certain things.
Oh, some of the things that we have.
Yeah,
Yeah, on our clothes. Yeah, it's
to wake people up. Like so even with your clothes, you can share seeds of consciousness.
some might be lacking some description because I couldn't put it on the in the shop because it'll become suspect. I want to take it down, but like take it out the shop. But like you'll see some of the clothing if you check out our merch shop. You see some of the gear that I was talking about in there.
It's like compromising. No, it's
Go check it out. It
but
might be controversial.
we have some, yeah, some things can be a bit controversial, but we bring like really like deep truths.
We just bring how it is, the truth.
Yeah,
Bring it how it
we
is.
bring really deep truths that not everybody shares, and that's why. But we also very open and vulnerable, and that's why I really think like our videos can really make a difference, can really help people, and can really awake people as well, and spread seeds of consciousness. And with our merch, you can spread those seeds as well, and let other people know, like, hey, I also know certain things, so they understand that.
Oh, and if they have any ideas of spreading seeds, if they want to see something like an idea on a shirt, maybe I can come up with a design. If they leave it in the comments, and one day they'll see their design on some merch.
Yes, that's also
At least
cool.
their
Or
idea.
your
Design.
sentence, or your like whatever you
Yeah,
want
if it's the
to
same,
portray.
I'll put it with a picture, I'll put something together, and then you'll see it up there. You go
Yeah,
check it
because
out for
he's a
sure.
graphic designer, and that's what we also have. Like, he does the editing, he does graphic design. I make like other things. I do the writing. We have also connecting with that as well. So what we do, what we share, and I do like the things around, like the posting and making like the marketing,
Social media.
social media, and he does the graphic design and the editing of the video. So we are like, we also do like the things that yeah, we share that together
We
as
do all our
well.
own work.
Yeah.
That's
So
why it takes a long time sometimes to get a video out there because we're always busy like doing some other stuff. I
and
might get
we
distracted at the moment, but doing some other things. But then putting this together, video editing, I edit every video we do. So
Yeah, because we're very creative beings and we always creating new things. So that's why then it's a merge, then it's a video, then it's like this, and then it's like a book. And it's like there's always new things and new ideas. And that's also when you have that connection with source, God, universe,
most high.
the most high.
Yes.
You-
Flowing through you. It flows right through you too. You feel it. You get in that creative state, you can't stop. That's your meditative state right there.
Yeah,
It's
that
like you
flow state, that creative state, and we're both in that.
sometimes I'm in it, you're like, are you going to sleep tonight? I'm like, staying up for another day. I'm still designing and creating stuff.
Sometimes like I'm writing till several days till 3 o'clock in the night. I'm like, oh, and I made a new book. So yeah, with us you never know. So we always do that, and that's why it's so beautiful that you can have that. That you can understand what the other being is doing and is creating, and then you can be there for each other. And understanding also have that understanding towards each other, like what their drive is or what they need or what they want, or like, hey, I'm doing this now, and then you can have that space for each other.
Yes, we support each other pretty good.
Yes, yes, very
Really
much.
well, really well. And that's what you need. That's how it works. That's how you know you made it. And listen, there's tough times, there's hard times in any relationship, whether they're internal through the relationship or they're external, that we're affected by it and we affect each other because we're affected by it. I
And
mean,
and then you can also be there
you
for
don't know
each
where it
other.
comes from.
And that is also really nice that you can then be there for each other when you're really struggling. And then you don't have to do that by yourself. And that's also something really beautiful for a relationship.
And it's tough because I'll be honest, I'm used to doing everything, even if it's tough on myself. And she'll offer to help. What can I do? It's not, you're very nice. I really
Oh,
appreciate you. But sometimes I get stubborn. I'm like, nah, I got this. You know what I'm saying? But it's good to know you're there. You got my back. So I really appreciate that. Appreciate you.
oh,
So that's very nice how we have this going on.
yeah.
We got to stay strong together like that. We'll make it. We're gonna make it no matter what. This world, it's distractions. There's things happening right now. We're gonna power through it. We're
And
gonna.
that's why we also want to let you know, like you're not alone out there. We're here if you need any help, and we are there to be of service for people that need any help with this, especially like with relationships.
Let us know. We got you. Hit us up. Message us. Give us a message. How do you say it? Is it DM? I don't know if it's a
Yeah,
or
yeah.
if I don't know. That's it.
And we have also our Beacons page where people
Okay.
can book like sessions as
But like
well.
just like really quick, I wouldn't mind just giving somebody some advice really quick or just speaking to them some kind of way.
Mhm.
Just to get the spirits back up because like we get knocked down a lot, you know what I'm saying? And like we have to pick ourselves back up. And sometimes we can use a quick way to just
Yeah,
just get
I
out
had
of the dark place.
I had a friend that was like really triggered by how her partner they had like a miscommunication, but also like a clashing in beliefs. So things like she was more aware of what's happening in the world than her partner, and her partner was like, "Hey, you need to see this, and this is what," and they couldn't come, yeah, at
Like
the
we discussed
state.
earlier. That's
Yeah, they
hard.
didn't come.
That's
But
good.
I said also like you can only like come with unconditional love for each other and let them be in their you have such a long relationship with each other and you're so long together. Um, you need to come from that unconditional love, like accept them for where they are, and see the things that you have in common. And
But
that's also really important.
I want to say also know when it's like, if they've been in a relationship so long, also know when it's like one has grown so much where the divide has taken place, but just hasn't physically happened yet, and that kind of has to happen. Sometimes that may happen. The divide might happen to split, you know, but that's not always the case. But if it is, it is. You have to recognize this as well.
Yeah,
Right.
but in that moment, the person really, it helped her a lot that I was there to see that other perspective in that moment. Because I also understand, like in the moment that you have that miscommunication going on, or have that triggering going on, that is good that you sometimes have an outside perspective or outside neutral person reminding you of that. So if you ever need that, we can be there.
And we will be here.
Yes. So thank you very much for listening, and hope that you learned a lot from this video. You can check in the comments. You can always share, like if you have questions, or like let us know which part you learned the most from. And
we'll be here.
Yeah, we always make this with lots of love for everybody, and so it can help people.
Yeah. So love, light, peace, power, and happiness to everybody out there.
Yay!
So see you all in the next video.
Yay! Bye bye.
Bye everybody.